Hey, it's Shannon from iHeartRadio Canada here with Jordan Davis. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, of course. I want to talk about the album. I want to talk about the tour. How has the tour been going so far? How's Canada been treating
It's
you?
been awesome.
Yeah?
I always say that y'all take, like, Canadians take, like, Southern hospitality to, like, another level. Like, everybody's so nice. So we love coming up here. We love touring. The Canadian fans are always, like, super excited. Monday night, Tuesday night, doesn't matter. So the tour's been amazing, and I hate that it's been this long since we got up here. So
Right.
and then to do it with Thomas Rhett, like, we've been wanting to tour with him for a long time. So it's really cool to mix both of those things together.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like a lot of Canadians, we like take pride in the fact that the stereotype is that we're really nice. So I feel like we try to overly be nice just to like live up to that stereotype.
Yeah. Well, y'all do, and then some. So
Yeah.
y'all are a lot nicer than some people back in the States.
How's it been going though with Thomas though? Do you remember the first time that the two of you connected and met?
I'm trying to think of, like, we've passed, like, at festivals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I think we just knew that, like, we both like to hunt and fish, and both dads, so I knew we'd always hit it off. I think the first time we actually, like, hung out though, he had some mutual friends over to his house, and me and my wife went over and hung out with him, and that was, like, the first time that me and TR really kind of connected, and I guess you say became boys, you know? So
buddies.
now we're buddies.
Yeah, nice. How has the reaction from fans been since the album release?
It's been great.
Yeah?
I try not to, like, read too many reviews.
No?
Because, like, you can look through the good ones and just go to the bad ones. So I try to stay away from the reviews, but it feels great. Like, the messages have been awesome. It's always cool to see, like, the songs that you don't think people are going to really gravitate to kind of see those kind of raise their hand. But yeah, I mean, I'm proud of it. It's kind of one of those things where you're just, like, ready to have it out. I've been listening to these songs for a long time, so excited to have it out, and it feels really good.
Yeah. Is there a specific song that fans have reacted to that you were more surprised about?
I mean, songs that I feel like we kind of expected it. Tucson Too Late is a song that I feel like people are really gravitating to. Short Fuse, Fishing Spot. Those are, like, the three that I feel like a lot of the messages are, about how this song has impacted them, or so those are the three right now that it feels that way.
Right. They say that songwriting is like a form of therapy. With a song like Short Fuse, do you find that has helped you maybe, like, handle certain emotions in better ways since creating that song?
I hope so.
Yeah?
That's probably up to my wife to judge on
Yeah,
that.
we'll ask her.
But, yeah, I mean, like, anytime you write a song like that, it kind of makes you think about it a little bit more. You don't want to be a hypocrite and write about it and say you want to change it, and then, don't do anything to change it. So I do hope that is kind of made me a little bit more aware of when I'm letting my temper get the best of me.
Right. I feel like that's almost fuel for your wife. If you maybe are having a short fuse, she can just, like, start playing the song.
Bluebird Days, track 14. You might want to go listen to that again.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. I love that so much. How was the album process different this time around compared to your projects in the past? Did you find a big difference in it?
Yeah, this is the first time that we've, like, kind of had a goal. I think that, like, leading up to, my first album, we kind of picked the 12 best songs that we had. And then even with the EPs, it's kind of like you write and you get 5 or 6 songs that you really like, and you kind of release them. Whereas with this record, we really had some things we wanted to do. We wanted to show growth. We wanted to be honest. And I wanted to mix in past experiences that have gotten me to where I'm at today, and then from today going forward, some fears I have, some things that I'm working on. So it was more fun to kind of have a target to at least throw at, as opposed to just grabbing a dart and throwing it somewhere.
Right.
So I kind of enjoyed the way we made this record.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing when you do listen to the full record. I feel like vulnerability is the word that really pops out. Like, you really show a lot about yourself in this album.
Yeah.
Was that difficult to tap into?
Yeah, for some songs. Like Short Fuse or Bluebird Days is probably one of the tougher songs to record. But I mean, I've always loved songwriters that were really honest, and that I feel like after I listen to a song of him, it's like, oh, that guy gets me, you know. And I think that I've kind of, you know, I try to do that with my fans. It's like, we're all human, you know, and I think when you put those songs out, I think that's when the connection really gets hooked in, that like, oh, that guy's struggling with the same things that I struggle with. So, and I don't know. I mean, I think that's what makes music so special.
Yeah, and like a song like Bluebird Days, like you said, that is extra vulnerable because you are talking about your parents' divorce. But I want to know how it is writing a song like that with your brother, who's gone through that as well.
Well, I think it's like it made it a little bit easier.
Did it?
You know, because I mean, we were both there, you know, when it happened. And two, you know, it's like, I think we carry some guilt on that with, you know, my sister's 5 years younger. And when my parents split up, we were kind of already going to college, and my sister kind of stayed back. And, you know, we kind of carry the chip of like, you know, did we assist her through it like we should have? You know, it's just a tough thing. You know, it happens, and I get in like, you know, I'm not bashing anybody that has gone through a divorce. It's just like, that was my perspective of it. And I think it's something, it's almost like the cautionary tale of like me with my family now. It's like, you know, how do I avoid that?
Right.
You know, and I think it's just, you know, trying to be the best husband and dad I can be, and keeping that priority number one, and letting everything else come behind that.
Yeah, definitely. I want to talk about your songwriting, because you are such a talented songwriter.
Thank you.
What do you do when you want to be creative, if you want to like spark creativity or get inspired?
I think I'm like one of the weird writers in that, like, I don't like have like a routine or anything. Like, I know some writers that, like, you know, they have like their spot that they want to write at, and they have their lights, and they kind of set their vibe.
Yeah.
I think for me, it can strike out of anywhere. And I think just from being in Nashville and trying for like, coming up on 11 years now, and like writing every day, you know, I kind of just view it as a job. It's like, you know, you show up, you know, you write as hard as you can until the song's done, and then you kind of forget about it.
Right.
And I've always kind of viewed songwriting as that, as, you know, wake up as an 8 to 5 job. You know, wake up at 8, read, you know, watch something, try to get inspiration for something, show up at 11, have an idea or a melody or something to work with, you know, work from 11 to 4 or 5 o'clock, and go home and just start it all over the next day. So, I don't know. I've always kind of viewed songwriting like that. So I wish I could say that I have like a cool thing that I do to get into it.
That's a way in itself, I think.
Yeah.
That enforces the productivity and all of that part of it,
yeah.
too. You mentioned Nashville for 11 years now, and I know you're performing at the Grand Ole Opry again next month. Do you have a specific memory of like the first show that you saw at that venue, or your first experience with the Grand Ole Opry?
So the one that sticks out to me is it was my brother's Grand Ole Opry debut.
Oh, yeah?
My grandfather was there,
Wow.
Which was like really, really cool. I was just there as, you know, support my brother. But like my grandmother was there, my grandfather was there, and he was a big Connie Smith fan, and Connie Smith was there that night. So it was cool to get to see him, see her, and like that, you know, just to be backstage. It was the first time being backstage at the Opry. So that was like something that will always stick out to me as a really special moment. But anytime getting to play that place is pretty awesome.
That's sweet too. And it's always nice when you can like experience other people experiencing things, right?
Yeah.
And like create memories through them.
I mean, and like, you know, now it's like, well, I mean, I feel like anytime, you know, you get to do some of those things, like my Opry debut was amazing, but it's like now it's cooler for me to get to bring my mom up, or, you know, bring a grandparent up, or my sister, and let her experience that. Because, I mean, it is just such a, you know, it is country music. Yeah. So, it's pretty cool how that's changed to letting other people experience that.
Yeah, and what's the point in enjoying it if you can't share it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, totally. As someone we were talking about Mario Kart before we started, but as someone who has only played the game Duck Hunter, but not actually gone duck hunting, what is something that like the average person might not understand about the difficulties that go into duck hunting?
Oh gosh, there's so much gear.
Really?
Like, that's the worst. Like, out of all the hunting, I don't know why duck hunters have to have so much stuff. But it's like you have decoys, and then you have a sled, and everything's wet and muddy, and you got calls and shotguns and blind bags, and it's just like there's so much stuff that goes into carrying, and it makes for earlier mornings. You got to get there earlier. And as I'm saying this, it seems like, why would anybody do
yeah,
this?
Exactly.
But I'm gonna try to not miss a day next season. So I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy, but it's all worth it. Like the best day duck hunting is worth every second. I mean, there's a few days we had this past season that are just like some of the best hunts I've ever been on. And the hunting was great, but it's the people. It's, you know, being out there at sunrise, drinking coffee and hanging out with your buddies, and it's a special thing.
Yeah. Is that what makes you enjoy it that much more?
I honestly think at this point, like, you know, I could leave my shotgun at the house and go out and see buddies experience that, or like a first-time duck hunter get in some flooded timber and get to witness like a really great duck hunt, and like it'd be just as much fun.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's a special thing.
Totally. Awesome. Jordan, thank you so much for taking the
Absolutely.
time. So nice to chat with you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.